Multiple manager, multiple years.
I think I've heard this with other lyrics.
Care to recite those?
Maybe some other time. Round of 16 action just moments away. The two teams and the referees heading out onto the pitch.
Surprised Ray's not here to do the Andre Gomes version.
Just letting it all sink in. Maybe one of the final times for Javier Mascherano. Take a look at the starting lineups here today for Ernesto Valverde. Cillison, the cup keeper. You take a look at the front six, though, and other than Gomes, pretty much what you'd expect to see in a big match, and this is a big match. Celta Vigo proving to be hard to beat.
And that's the reason why Barcelona weren't able to put some of their more B players in there, like what we have seen previously in the Copa del Rey, giving time to players from Barcelona B. The player who's made the most out of that has been the striker Arnaiz,
who also has had transfer rumors swirling, catching the eye of several Premier League clubs. And with the arrival of Coutinho, the return of Dembele, wonder if there will be time for Arnaiz. Hugo Mayo, the 26-year-old right back. Celta through and through, sometimes to a fault. Well, you just take a look here at Juan Carlos Unzue's lineup, and as you mentioned, things with Emre Mor changing. Maxi Lopez has been, Maxi Gomez make that phenomenal, providing a physical presence up front for Aspas to play off of, but Aspas will have to carry a bit more of the load. The former Dortmund phenom on the bench. But note Rafinha also in the stadium, sitting next to someone.
It's quite expensive, I hear.
Luxury seats. (1-1) in the first leg. The road goal for Barcelona. So Celta knows they need a goal here even to send it to extra time. Phil Shane, Mateo Bonetti with you. Nacho Garcia, Jaime Macias on our Spanish language side, and glad you could join us. Always interesting, even with Valverde. I guess you could probably even say with some of the new additions, especially with Valverde, how the players line up. Andre Gomes has played, in fact, in the last game, came off the bench to play as the left wing, but starting out here on the right with Messi at the point of the diamond.
And at one point, we almost saw it turn into a 4-4-2 with Messi right alongside Suarez. And yes, and Andre Gomes playing slightly out wide right and left in the midfield. Of course, Andre Gomes, the player that really must prove himself. He's been given plenty of chances, not as many as last season, though.
Some pretty intriguing commentaries as to why it takes some players a bit more time and some, like an Arda Turan, maybe just never get it. It's a different philosophy for Barcelona. There's so much more. I remember reading a column quoting Xavi talking about the fact when Pep Guardiola stepped in, and he's the godfather, or the father of this, maybe the godfather going back to Johan Cruyff, but Xavi said under Pep Guardiola, Barcelona even had plays for defensive throw-ins. Chance quickly. Messi cuts to his left. Wrong puts Gomez. Ridden to the turf by Mayo, but cleanly, said the referee, who had a good view.
A lovely burst of acceleration, and it's Messi playing as a left-sided striker in that 4-4-2. A system we've seen all too often, but tucked in right alongside Luis Suarez. Of course, we'll have much more of a free role with Suarez playing more centrally at times. Plenty of creative threat as well should be coming from the midfield. The likes of Rakitic and Iniesta together on that side with Alba making the overlapping runs.
Although again, there is a bit of a morph at times. So Rakitic over on the left, now sliding back into his holding role.
There's not much in that, is there, from Hugo Mayo? Of course, clattering into the back, but doesn't seem to be overly illegal.
When the arm extends, tends to be one of those situations where the referee might call it. Was dancing with fire, but he came out unscathed. Lionel Messi leading the league in scoring and right behind Pione Sisto in assists. Sisto hasn't even seen the ball yet. Out wide, Luis Suarez just past the flashing head of Andre Gomes.
Interesting there, both Barcelona strikers converging out wide on the left, allowing runs from the midfield to take place, and Andre Gomes, big physical presence, getting forward. It's not a bad ball delivered into him, just about a few inches in front of the Portuguese midfielder's head.
Gomes 6'2", and again playing a similar role, I guess you could say, as to what Paulinho might be playing, but the Brazilian starting this match on the bench. His role for this team the rest of the way could also face a serious change once Dembele and Coutinho are both 100% healthy. Although Paulinho, the #1 scoring midfielder in Spain, it'd be pretty hard to take him out of the picture.
And for those of you who are surprised by Paulinho's numbers coming over from Asian football, just have to take a look at what he did for the Brazilian national team in their CONMEBOL World Cup qualifiers. He was a goal threat almost every game.
And proving club and country. Messi with the switch. Iniesta cheating forward. Alba wants it back. A little bite on the ball, gives the chance to cross, but straight to former teammate Sergi Gomez. Just one game for Gomez for Barcelona, not even really an official game, if you will. Way back in 2010, played the 90 minutes against Sevilla in a 3-1 loss in one of the legs of the Spanish Super Cup, but it was a chance to put on the first team uniform. André Fontes did it for 8 games, including Champions League, before he was sent away. Both of them now on the back line for Celta. Semedo back to his compatriot. Gomes retreats off to Piqué. Nice touch. Suarez tries to go around Johnny Castro, but can't. Almost cutting into the box, but dispossessed. Chance out wide. Aspas. So dangerous, so much fun to watch.
Yeah, watch out for him, especially at the stadium against Barcelona. He's pacey, he's very technical. His first touch has been absolutely brilliant. He's coming off a career here, by the way. Watch out.
In for Messi. Cuts to his right. 3 defenders with him. Now back to his left, and Celta dodges the bullet. Briefly, back for Messi. Fontes over to parry it away.
That's great patience, though, by Messi. Saw that the angle towards goal was getting closed down. Pulls it back, looks for his best option. Good defending in transition by Celta, who so often get caught high up the pitch. They're closing down all the spaces. Once Barcelona got into the final third, neither Messi or Suarez had a direct window towards goal.
Ernesto Valverde, former teammates with Juan Carlos Unzué. In fact, they spent the same 2 seasons for the Blaugrana before moving on. High by Ruas.
Other than getting this unit successful, Phil, Valverde's come off as very classy, very no-nonsense in press conferences. Always saying things very matter-of-fact, pushing away any hints of drama. Really enjoyed listening to him.
Unzué, meanwhile, along with 3 of his assistants, Robert Moreno, Joaquin Valdez, and Rafa Pol, all coming over from Barcelona after Luis Enrique stepped down. Of course, they were all with Luis Enrique when he was the boss at Celta Vigo, so quite familiar with their new surroundings. Mascherano Yeremina's arrival pushing him maybe a bit further down the pecking order. One of the reasons he is going to China. There is a World Cup after all. Rakitic wide. Here's Alba. Interesting to see how his role changes with the arrival of Coutinho. Didn't always work so well when Neymar was patrolling that left wing. And with Neymar's departure, Alba resurgent. Semedo. Suarez trying to turn the corner. Instead settles for the corner.
So good at using his backside just to create a little bit of space when he's getting pressed by a defender. Look quite organized though, Celta, when they drop back into their defensive shape. Barcelona so far always looking for that run past the shoulder of the last defender by Suarez, who's been making good movements. Looks quite sprightly on his feet, doesn't he?
Driven to the 6. Cleared away, and now a little touch. Semedo needed to be quick.
And I'm very curious to watch Emre Mor. So hyped when he was in the Danish league. He's a Turkish international, but born in Denmark. I remember him from Borussia Dortmund, where he saw limited minutes. He's also seen limited minutes in La Liga. He's only started one time. Only played 12 games, but he's 20 years old, and he's an immensely talented player, very technical, a bit physically frail, and can get pushed off the ball quite easily. It just needs more experience. Great touch.
And now it's a chance on the break. Messi holds off the challenge, but waited long enough for Johnny to be able to block the pass. He'll get another chance from distance, but down quickly, Sergio Alvarez.
Took a slight deflection, but what a touch that was from Luis Suarez. Not showing any rust with his touches whatsoever. Also have to credit the work there to win the ball back by Andre Gomes. But that touch from Suarez to play Messi through was absolutely wonderful.
Six changes from Barcelona's first leg. 3 on the back line. Vermaelen, Vidal, and Vigo all watching from somewhere else. Piqué the only returner. Meanwhile, Paulinho, Suarez, and Arnaiz also not in the picture. It's part of that rotation. I think for a lesser team, maybe a less experienced team, that could cause a problem. Valverde trying to make sure everyone stays fresh for what is a long season. Back comes Gomes. Quickly in for Rakitic, now wide for Semedo. Ronnie steals it away nicely. Quickly forward, Aspas. Osavet. More the Regista role, a deep-lying playmaker for Celta. In for Vaz. And a lunge from Piqué clears the danger. Good chance for Celta.
And Aspas really helping to create that, playing the right ball to just keep that ball ticking and moving outside the box. That was a great intervention by Piqué, who had to throw himself in the way of Daniel Vaz. Didn't catch his goal at the weekend. Go check it out right at the halftime.
Sisto tended to play wide on this left flank, can also play on the right a bit, but of late has been put into a bit more of a playmaking role in the center with his 9 assists.
Vaz had a world-class goal against Real Madrid. Beautiful chip from outside the box. And he's one of those midfielders that loves making those forward runs. You get that second wave of runs, and Celta players know that they're always looking to find him at the edge of the box.
Semedo in for Busquets. Mascherano stepping forward. And now wide for Alba. Kind of interesting. 3 in the back with the fullbacks sliding over. In for Messi.
Oh,
slaps it home off the fingertips of Sergio. A brilliant volley, and Barca's in front.
What a hit, but what a mistake from the Celta defense. So surprised that ball was allowed to squirt through the edge of the box. And it falls to the most dangerous man in world football. He's had a goal a game this season, with Coutinho watching from the stands. The ball sent in. No defender was able to get a touch onto it. It's such a narrow corridor. Suarez with the presence of mind and the awareness to let that ball slide through. He could have taken a touch, the Uruguayan. He has eyes on the back of his head, knowing that Messi's just in behind him with no Celta players around him. Plenty of separation there between Messi and the late arriving left back Johnny, who's struggling to get into position.
Talked about Jordi Alba. 7 assists in league. 5 of them to Lionel Messi. Here another in the cup. And you saw Messi, this is something he is so dangerous at, finding that little pocket of space. Lobotka, Fontas, and Gomez thought there was nothing wrong. Next thing, they're trailing, and here they go again. Into the 6, trying the back heel Suarez. Johnny. And then just spanking it away, Fontas. It'll be a throw-in for Barca.
This high pressure from Barcelona, leading to an inability by Celta to play the ball out from the back. This is a possession-based side, but every time they're playing a pass, look at the first touch of any one of these Celta players are instantly swarmed by 2 Barcelona kids. This could work off the ball from the home side.
Messi. Suarez thought about it. Instead goes far side. Alba. Oh! Messi making 2.
Oh, it's simply world class. But again, rewind the tape. The first touch from Messi to get by the defender. It's the slightest hesitation with his body. Goes to the outside, creates space from his marker. That is absolutely brilliant to give and go. But take a look as the ball comes into Messi. That first touch to distance himself from the defender. It's maybe not the thing you notice because the finish was, again, wonderful. You don't see it there, but the way he gets away from that cluster of Celta bodies is absolutely genius. The return ball from Alba, first time, as Messi's coming towards the ball, getting away from the marker. Poor defending again from Celta, but how do you stop that sort of genius? It's a masterclass in 15 minutes. My word. Oh, what can you do?
Said masterclass in 15 minutes. The 2 goals crammed into 2-minute stretch. Messi from Alba. And again, we talked about the formation in the attack, almost a 4-4-2 with Messi pulled back from the front line just a bit to give him some separation from the defenders, but also tends to be a bit more centrally located, which means he's that much closer to goal. But then again, don't blink, he'll be somewhere else. So now some cushion. Maybe one of the most impressive starts for Barcelona this season, but can they keep it up?
Now, we haven't seen Messi drop back into the midfield yet. He is staying very tightly alongside Luis Suarez. He'll drop in at times, as he's doing now, to be the playmaker.
Knotted down, Suarez tries to keep it alive. Alba for Iniesta. Little back heel from Busquets. Barca starting to feel it. Semedo.
So many times Alba becomes another playmaker out wide. That left back position with those overlapping runs is first time balls. Usually that low cross is that Alba signature.
are starting to build to a crescendo at the new camp. And here comes a chance for a third, but Semedo just offside.
Trying to utilize the pace of Semedo. Making the run in a very advanced position. Was he just off? Here's another look at that give and go. This is the first goal. The ball that squirts across the edge of the box. Suarez doesn't get a touch, allows Messi to pounce.
Bad under pressure. Celta can barely hang on to the ball. Now what can Celta do? A chance with some momentum and a bit of space for Mayo. More, as you can see, not quite ready. Not sure exactly where to go. And for a young player, still just 20. In the mindset of being a substitute at the start. And then just before kickoff being told he was going to be in the starting lineup. It'd be quite an adjustment. Sisto with help. Johnny wide. Josebed playing a bit more advanced. Sisto dribbling his way into danger.
Poor ball.
But they're going to rule the foul as the Dane was impeded.
That's not the smartest ball, and Sisto really bailed out by that whistle. A ball like that to the center of the midfield when you have Barcelona players very close. Could have been suicidal. He's had a good season, though, the Danish winger Sisto. 9 La Liga assists. Very quick player. Maybe could get going, especially if Nelson Semedo does make those overlapping runs. Could free up Sisto in that position.
Trying to pressure Messi. Doesn't always work. Finds a pocket. Help in the center. Sneaks it across. Suarez with a good chance. And apologies for the technical issues, but probably exactly the way Barcelona making Celta feel at the moment. Two goals in a 3-minute span at the opening quarter hour. And it's now a 3-1 aggregate. Suarez offside. Curls it around into the net just in case, but it's not going to count.
Spectacular. Suarez is trying to take that little hop to get back onside. Oh, that looked on.
Again, the arm
was being kept on by
the arm
Sergio
doesn't
Gomez.
count. I think you're right.
He was absolutely on. Or very close. Of course, the arm not a playable part of the body. Of course, the arm is off, but take a look at every other part. It's just the arm sneaking off, so that should have been kept on. It would have been a lovely finish on his weaker left.
Holmes keeps it alive, finds Messi. The ball finds Messi again. Iniesta trying to squirt inside, does, and chips it over the bar. Could not keep the shot down.
It's a masterclass for Messi. Back heel to continue the run from Iniesta, plays him on. Doesn't have a lot of time to think about this shot. Iniesta is just able to get that little space in between the two center backs, but that is just another moment of pure magic from the number 10. Gets to the defender, Sergio Gomez, to slip. Ex-Barcelona B pair so far have had a nightmare dealing with all the superstars from their former club.
Driven into the 6, loose. Busquets trying to keep it alive. Aspas. And now Celta on the break. Nice spin. More flying forward. but just tapped away. Lobotka, the defensive midfielder, dispossessed.
Yeah, lovely ball there from Emre Moore. First real sign of him. Slips it through perfectly into stride for the midfielder. Sign from Nordsjælland. Celta have been doing quite a few scouting missions in Denmark.
Same place Emre Moore came from.
Sisto as well. It's Midtjylland.
Of course, Moore's ex-Borussia Dortmund teammate, Ousmane Dembele, on the bench today. Maybe a reunion in the second half. Vaz rolling it all the way back. Gomez over to Fontes. Celta knows they can come from behind. They came from one goal back the first leg to tie things up. Gave Real Madrid all they could handle on the weekend. And they might have a chance here. In for Aspas. Freezes Mascherano, who gets just enough of a touch. And now Busquets starts the break. Nice from Rakitic. Will it hold? Alba flying forward. Sending it across, but Fontes intercepts. Lobotka has been very impressive in his debut season, but not today. Header easily regathered by Ivan Rakitic.
And Celta know that there's still plenty in this game. They're not going to play suicidally high at such an early stage, and then this game could get really embarrassing from them. They're very quick about getting back into the defensive transition, but have as many men back as you want when Messi's in this sort of form. Good luck trying to stop him.
This, on paper, looks to be one of the toughest tests for Barcelona at home this season, but they've answered the first few questions correctly. The one thing they have done also is eliminate the possibility of extra time and penalties. Barcelona currently in front, but should Celta come back and score two, they would advance on away goals. And here again, as you see, clearly on.
Not even his hand on. That is unfortunate. It would have been a terrific finish from Suarez.
Luis lifts it up, sneaks it around the defender, and almost inside the far post.
It's one of the sharpest starts that we have seen from Luis Suarez so far. It's not just the ability to constantly get into these dangerous positions, using his body so well. He's looking quicker than he's looked all season. Also his ability and link up.
Iniesta maybe showing he's not quite needing a replacement just yet. Gomes, if you believe some of the reports, asking for a transfer, maybe reading the tea leaves a bit. Gifted by Sisto right to Messi. Suarez gets stomped on as he tries to pass it back, and it's cleared away.
Well, that give and go set up beautifully that time, with Suarez playing with his back to goal, has the strength to hold off his marker, just trying to slip it through to Messi. This often has been a recipe for success, plays of that sort. Messi just uses the center forward to play off of and continue his run into the box.
Fans in full voice as we approach the half hour. Temperature hovering right around 50 degrees under mostly clear skies. Barely a trace of wind. A glorious night. And Barcelona in glorious form. Gomes. Spotting the run. And taking it himself. 2 assists and add a goal. It's 3-0 Barca, and it's Jordi Alba's world.
just leaves you speechless, this sort of football. The ball into Alba is out of this world. Finally getting repaid for the constant work he's done up and down that left-hand side, creating goals, always making himself an option. But this time he's the recipient of this moment of pure magic. Messi from this position, that ball that just loops into the box. Alba's completely onside. He's about a yard or two on, no question about that. But the way that Messi gets this ball to dip and curl around the entire Celta defense, splits that line. Alba doesn't even catch this too cleanly. It looks like he's slipping. He's just able to catch it as he's going to ground. And he looks right away to Messi. That ball was millimeter perfect to find him. This has been really one of the best performances you can ask for from the number 10. He is unplayable.
So Messi now with 22 goals in all competitions, and 7 of them set up by Lionel Messi, who is a perfect 100% in creating both of Jordi Alba's 2 goals this season. Did it the first time to rescue a point at Valencia, and here, well, pretty much to put Celta Vigo on ice. It did not help when Maxi Gomez was injured a bit in the warm-ups, a scratch. Although,
and it should be 4-0, Phil. Should be 4-0.
That's a good point. As Luis Suarez was denied for a phantom offside. Maxi Gomez is on the bench, by the way, and it would be interesting to find out, as we learned in MLS this season, if he was scratched from the starting lineup after the official lineups had already been turned in, he would be ineligible to play. So, regardless, Barcelona with a comfortable lead, and now 4-1 aggregate. Maybe more.
Another spectacular pass. He's putting on a show, playing a lot deeper and wider now than we saw in the first 15 minutes. This is the earlier goal, the one that he set up, the give and go with Alba. Talked about that first touch from Messi when he receives the ball. It's a little hesitation. He gets to the defender thinking that he's going to go off to his right. Instead, he darts off in the other direction. Creates the separation to continue that play.
Another chance here, battling for it, Messi. Suarez just not enough to find Gomes. Deflected back,
no,
and buried. The pass back with the deflection right in the path of El Pistolero, who nets a 4th.
It's getting out of hand now for Celta. We expected a close game. Knew Barcelona was favored, but not quite like this. They've turned it on in a way that, well, when you watch it, you know you're seeing something very, very special. The pressure, the ability and link up in the final third. This is the expression we've seen from this poor goalkeeper, Sergio, throughout the game. I don't think he even knows where he is anymore. The settle from Messi originally, the strength as well to hold off the defender, Johnny. And Ciso here's got to think quicker. He can't go that way. That's the wrong direction to go.
Well, he's
poor awareness, Phil.
Trying to find Sergio, but his pass actually hits Johnny, which takes it right into the path of that man.
Where's his peripheral vision? With the way that there's so many Barcelona bodies, that dangerous back ball to the goalkeeper, that is suicidal again from Ciso. Yet another very poor ball earlier, which fortunately for him was whistled off due to a foul, but he's having quite a shocker in terms of his judgment.
4 goals in the opening 31 minutes. And while you could say that one had a touch of fortune, and with a bow tie on it, the other 3 have been absolutely phenomenal. A lot of times in cup ties like this, take a little off and it could have been 5. Managers like to get the big performance in the first leg so they can play reserves and some of the younger players in the second. And I have a feeling that might have been Ernesto Valverde's wishes to begin with, but to take on a team like Celta Vigo, who just held and were unlucky not to beat Real Madrid on the weekend and demolish them in the opening half hour, has got to be a joy to watch.
Exactly. This isn't a team from La Segunda or Segunda B, which we still have a few of those teams in this Copa del Rey. And we know Celta especially save their best performances for moments like this. And they've put on their own goal fest as well against Barcelona in recent years.
Well, this would be historic if they can find a way to come back. Atletico Madrid rather comfortably advancing over Lleida. Cut off by Johnny, but then he gives it up right back to Messi, and it's finally cleared by Gomez.
Great ball.
Now swept across, Suarez from an angle, and it's past a gaping net, but the offside flag was up.
Genius ball here from Sergio Busquets.
Well, it's like it's still Three Kings Day as the gifts continue to come.
The tightest of corridors to play that ball through.
Use your head, says Jose Hernandez.
Look at that. And yeah, two players
Barely.
offside. It's still offside. That time they got it correct.
And he hits the post here. So just offside and just off target. Atletico huge over the underdogs from Lleida. Alaves handled Formentera. Vaz dispossessed. Valencia, a big win over Las Palmas in the second leg after a 1-1 draw in the first. Sevilla edging Cádiz. Leganés on away goals over Villarreal. That's one of the upsets. Real Madrid blew past Numancia. Though credit to the Segunda side, they did get the draw yesterday. And as you saw earlier, Espanyol came from behind to knock off and knock out Levante. And now the final member of the Great Eight looks to be Barcelona, with a fantastic performance here in the opening half. And again, there is a draw, so it will be interesting to find out how this one plays out. Back for Gomes and across for Busquets. 10 minutes left. Celta making it to the semifinals the last couple of seasons, but not this time around. Game of keep away, drawing a round of applause.
And just chasing shadows. We've seen no indication that Celta are even ready to mount a charge in this game. Unable to hold on to the ball. Hasn't just been a brilliant offensive performance, but on the defensive end, they're closing down every single space, every single channel. Made Celta look so ordinary and so poor.
Suarez still hungry. And again, credit to the manager. Leading the league by near double-digit points, now pulling away from Celta here as they look to advance to the quarterfinals, and he's found a way to keep this team of superstars hungry for more. Iniesta, Mascherano. Over the last two matches between these, league and the first leg of the cup, ended level. 2-2 back in December, 1-1 just last week. Sprinting forward, Alba. Malio kept the arm out.
It's the Achilles heel, though, of this Celta side, that despite all the attacking praise that they've gotten defensively, they have conceded so much. This ball's worth taking another look and another. That is such a signature of his game when he's on that right-hand side. He's always looking to see who's making that run diagonally into the box at the far post. And No one in world football does it better. That little ball over the top of the defense that bends and dips, finds its way perfectly onto its target.
First time in the Valverde era that they have scored 4. And with some of the new arrivals and the returnees, probably won't be the last time. And Juan Carlos Unzué, just the unlucky victim here. He'd been on the other side during his years with Barcelona as a coach under Luis Enrique. Rome's in the center, up for Messi, back for the Portuguese. Now Semedo. Good step up by Fontas. Aspas tries to sweep it around, but Piqué just quick enough.
I've seen several teams. I remember Levante's manager saying that a trip to the Camp Nou was like going to the dentist. You know, Celta are getting a wisdom tooth removal now with no painkillers.
6 and change left to go in this opening half. Nearly razor sharp precision. Messi from Alba in the 13th, ditto in the 15th, reversed in the 28th, and Suarez pounces on a bad back pass in the 31st. Credit to Vigo. They've shut Barcelona down for the last 8 minutes. Barcelona might not be done. Piqué hungry for one of his own. And he will stay forward as a second center forward. Up now, making the trek back. 9 shots, 6 on target, 4 have hit the net. Meanwhile, just a single shot that went awry for Celta. Miscommunication there, cleared by Mayo back to midfield. Mascherano battling Aspas. Good run by Moore, but takes him wide. Turkish international with Busquets on him. Tries to lift it, but Piqué was there. Steps in to try and get it, but Iniesta was there. Not a bad try from the youngster, but not quite good enough. Semedo with some space. Roams to the goal line, does well, with the cross straight into the arms of Sergio Alvarez. Talked about how Celta 15th, that's part of the irony about the way things work sometimes, is they had actually fought back to tie and unlucky not to beat Real Madrid, and actually dropped in the table with that draw. Things get a little easier from here. Not exactly the way you want to start out a new year, Mateo.
Yeah. 2
games against Barca, sandwiched around 1 against Real Madrid. They had 2 good results, but maybe not today. Here's Aspas. Vaz in the middle, wide for Moore. Mayo waiting. Curls it around. Vaz to the middle. Almost Aspas. Almost.
They really can do something special with that sort of ball, but not able to latch onto it. Nice header by Vaz, the player that we mentioned. He always likes joining the attack. The cross in his pinpoint, but from that position, Vaz can only try to find that pullback header edge of the 6-yard box. Would have required some incredible dexterity and incredible skill to even get a real touch on that ball. Very difficult, flighted in from Aspas to latch onto. He's been so magical to watch. He's coming off a La Liga best 19 goals last season. The only time he scored more than that was 23, but that was back in the Segunda, way before anyone had ever even heard of him outside of Vigo. Moves to Liverpool and Sevilla, never worked out for him, but he's always found a successful goal-scoring form here at Celta throughout his career.
Sisto. Fontes pulled wide on this left side as Johnny had pushed forward.
I think Aspas would prefer playing next to a target man. We've seen him have plenty of success next to Maxi Lopez. We've seen him have success next to John Guidetti, who was left for Alaves.
Again, that is something we did miss just a little bit also, is Lopez playing so well, or Gomez playing so well of late. Would have been an intriguing matchup with Luis Suarez with a World Cup coming. Sisto wide for Johnny. Back for the Uganda native, now back across. Trying to keep it in play, but can't.
I think it might have tripped you up there, Phil. Maxi Gomez, of course, not Maxi Lopez, who's another striker in one of our leagues. Udinese in Serie A.
Final minute here in the opening half. Unsue looking on and trying to find an answer. Again, after spending the last 3 seasons watching Messi as one of Barcelona's coaches, he knew a day like this could happen. Things do get a bit easier for them, though, after this. Take a look at their next schedule, and it's the likes of Levante, Sociedad, Betis, Alaves, Espanyol, Getafe, and Eibar. In for Suarez, offside again. Again, razor sharp on the finish, but not quite on the run.
Well, won't count on the stat sheet yet again, but this is one of the best performances from Suarez. This time he's off. That should not have counted, but just some more shooting practice for the number 9.
And off to the MASH unit for Celta Vigo. Barcelona, stellar form. 4-0 at the break, and it could have been more.
An elevation in design, a breakthrough in performance, an entirely new approach to human movement. For a workout like nothing you've ever experienced before, this is the Freestride Trainer by Nordic Track. Combining the benefits of a stepper, treadmill, and elliptical into a single machine that adapts itself to your body. Unlike standard equipment that forces you into an unnatural range of motion, the Freestride Trainer is designed ergonomically to adapt to the way you move, instead of you adapting to it. But it's not just how the Freestride Trainer lets you move, it's how it makes you feel. With a first-of-its-kind suspension system, you can experience the unique sensation of floating through your workout. With the Freestride Trainer, you get the benefits of 3 machines in one: stepper, treadmill, and elliptical. And changing workouts is as simple as changing your stride. Change resistance at the push of a button. Use incline or decline to target multiple muscle groups like thighs, buns, and abs. Explore anywhere in the world on a touchscreen display with iFit powered by Google Maps. Or stay connected with interactive training tools that adapt to your progress so you can reach your goals more quickly. You can even work out with friends across the globe. But the only way to truly understand how different the Freestride Trainer feels is to try it for yourself today. Go to NordicTrack.com now to try the Freestride Trainer risk-free for 30 days. We'll even ship it free.
18 months special financing available.
Offer subject to credit approval. Some restrictions apply. Try the Freestride trainer for yourself risk-free for 30 days and feel the difference. Go to NordicTrack.com. The Freestride trainer by NordicTrack. Rise above the ordinary.
Today, college basketball is here. The Monarchs get ready with home court advantage to face off against the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. Western Kentucky versus Old Dominion on beIN Sports.
What I like to feel is go to the limit, feel the flex of the tires, the flex of the frame. I love that feeling. More than go 220 miles per hour. And when you go into the corner in 20 miles per hour, you are looking for your reference point, trying to brake little as possible, feel the bike, goes on the side, on the limit. You just take the corner in the last moment, but if you did a little bit mistake, you are out of your right line.
He's gonna have a go, Ray. On the brakes, are you kidding me? A little bit of contact, possibly Tony off the racetrack.
The best thing and the most nice thing is all these parts together in one and do that job perfect.
The race to the checkered flag, and Tony Elias will take the win.
Welcome to Moto America on beIN Sports.
Well, it is the Express. It was the Express as Celta run over in the opening half. First time under Valverde that Barca have scored 4 in the opening half. First time this century Celta have given up 4 in the opening stanza. Mascherano returns to the starting lineup, but while Coutinho and Rafinha watched on, it was Jordi Alba and Messi.
Oh, they were absolutely brilliant. Messi unplayable in the first half. That ball squirting across the edge of the box. Messi catching it on that half volley right into the bottom corner. No chance for the goalkeeper. That is great work as well from Suarez, who has the presence of mind to let that ball roll through. Then Messi, that first touch to get by his marker, rolls by another one, finds Alba, needs that return ball, and he tucks it in first time, side-footed finish into the bottom corner. Absolutely unstoppable. And that very, very expensive Brazilian watching from high up, enjoying every bit of this. Alba had a fantastic first half as well. Take a look at this ball, though. Messi to Alba, splits the defense. It's that signature Messi looping ball over the fence that curls and dips and bends and is absolutely unstoppable. Alba, as he's going to ground, is still able to finish that by the goalkeeper, but that pass is one of the finest that you will see all season long. A historically good performance from Barcelona in this game. Even though it won't count in the stat book, that was truly something special. Saw a Luis Suarez goal taken away that should have counted. That time gets one to go. He has also been very lively with his movement. His link up been brilliant.
4-0 at the half and more to come. The Express continues.
Back in the day, our military had to rely on lanterns like these. But today, lighting technology has come a long way. Nick Bolton here with the new TAC Light Lantern from Bell & Howell. The TAC Light Lantern collapses down smaller than a smartphone and weighs less than a pound. But don't let its small size fool you. It's twice as bright as an ordinary lantern. The secret is the genuine Bell & Howell Cobb LEDs that are smaller, brighter, and more energy efficient than regular LEDs. They make our TAC Light Lantern so bright it can fill an entire room with light and visible up to 2 nautical miles away. Plus, this lantern is built like a tank. It's heat resistant, works submerged in water, and can survive even the coldest conditions. Slide the housing to adjust the brightness for a little light or a lot. Add the fold-out hanging handles, and there's never been a better lantern for the great outdoors. When it's go time, I keep mine in full armor mode. Here's why. Takes a beating and keeps on working. So let's review. The Tough Lantern is small and compact. Features state-of-the-art Cobb LEDs that can fill an entire room with light and is built to withstand even the worst conditions. There's just nothing like it on the market today.
Act now, and through this special TV offer, you can get the Bell & Howell Tack Light Lantern for just $19.99 plus free shipping. And we'll even upgrade you to our Deluxe Tack Light Lantern, also free. It features a magnetic base for bright, hands-free light whenever you need it. But that's not all. Order today and we'll double your order. Just pay a separate fee. That's right. You can get 2 Deluxe Bell & Howell Tack Light Lanterns for just $19.99 with free shipping. Here's how to order.
To order, call 1-800-418-5074 or go to tacklightlantern.com. That's 1-800-418-5074 or go to tacklightlantern.com. 1-800-418-5074.
The most important WTA tournaments are here on beIN Sports. Sydney International semifinals. Catch the greatest in women's tennis today on beIN Sports.
Fans everywhere have found their purpose in life. Consume more sports than ever before.
Get in the game with beIN Sports Connect. Watch the best sports live, like La Liga, Serie A, Ligue 1, WTA, motorsports, and much more. Anywhere, anytime, on your PC, tablet, smartphone, or Roku player.
Game on! Download the all-new beIN Sports Connect.
Real Madrid might seem to have lost their chance. They are far from their best form, away from the magic, the spark. This weekend, the White Giant will wear its colors, return home, and continue its journey. They fight to maintain themselves in the Champions League contention spots. Real Madrid versus Villarreal, Saturday on beIN Sports.
Welcome back to the Express, and Barcelona has been fast flyers on the day. 4-0 the scoreline. 2 more from Suarez were waved off. Take a look at the statistics. 65% possession of the ball, complete possession of the tie. Right now, Celta Vigo trying to find a way to limit the damage, and both teams probably figuring a way to rest some players. It was impressive over their last 2 matchups, but Celta looking for answers today.
They came out of nowhere, sir.
How many of them?
We don't know. Dozens.
All right, let's teach these freaks some manners.
Good luck out there, Captain.
Thanks, but I don't need luck. I have skill.
I don't have my keys. All hands, we are looking for the captain's keys again. They are on a silver carabiner.
Oh, this is bad.
As long as people misplace their keys, you can count on Geico saving folks money. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
¿Cómo te conviertes en la marca más confiable de SUVs? Haciendo vehículos que están atentos para las personas que no lo están. Haciendo vehículos que detectan lo que ellos no pueden detectar. Sorry. Haciendo vehículos con 3 filas para la carga más importante. Vamos más lejos para lo más preciado en tu vida. Así es Ford. Y así es como te conviertes en la marca más confiable de SUVs.
These guys handle a bunch of G's. Yep.
It's a type of deceleration that casts the perception of weight.
Not getting it yet? It's basically the same stuff a fighter jet pilot endures when developing high-speed maneuvers. But here, they go through a bunch of pain on purpose. These guys are technically superheroes. They wear gloves like the Spider Guy, a helmet, a sturdy suit like the Super Dude, minus the cape. In other words, they are the last glass of water in the desert, the prime rib of every restaurant.
I'm vegetarian.
I mean zucchini. Get this straight. They travel around the world, get to be around cool peeps,
So fun.
have their own garage, dedicated teams, and ride a kick-ass 1,000cc prototype machine that can run over 215 miles an hour. Crazy, huh? So what's not to like about the fastest motorcycle racing sport of all mankind? Come and see it. It's fun already. It's here on beIN Sports.
Welcome back to the Express Halftime. Live look inside the Camp Nou and a look at all the results from the round of 16 in the Copa del Rey. Atletico de Madrid absolutely demolishing Lleida Esportiu. Valencia 5-1 against Las Palmas. They're through. And some of the results today. Earlier on, we saw Sevilla beat down Segunda side Cádiz, with Levante losing to Espanyol 3-2, 2 La Liga sides there. And Barcelona looking to really put an exclamation mark in the second half. If they haven't already, we'll be right back.
The moment you realize your half bath needs your full attention.
At Lowe's, we'll help you turn the bathroom you have into the one you've always wanted at a price that fits your budget. All projects have a starting point. Start with Lowe's.
Hurry into Lowe's and get up to 25% off select bath faucets.
How can Credit Karma help you score the perfect place?
I'll just need to check your credit.
With free credit scores in seconds.
It's yours.
Credit Karma. Get knowing.
How can Credit Karma save you money?
Ugh, I just got charged for credit monitoring again.
Ooh, you should try Credit Karma. It's free.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Should check it out.
With totally free credit monitoring.
Free.
Free.
Credit Karma. Get knowing.
Evacuations are underway as a meteor heads toward the metro area.
Go, 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 go! We can fit more! But there's still more room!
We gotta go.
Juicer!
I don't have a juicer!
The all-new Volkswagen Tiguan. It fits everything you need and everything you don't.
Taking a look at the players as they make their way through the tunnel, getting set for the start of the second half. And Jasper Stillesen, you'll have to take our word for it, but he was out there. This is interesting. Thomas Vermeulen in uniform, not in the warm-up, so you wonder whether Ernesto Valverde making some changes even before the second half gets underway. Carlos Unzué stepping out and turning right instead of his familiar left.
Absolutely, Phil, and also see some changes and some very good changes coming in from Celta, but is it too little too late? That's the big hulking Uruguayan striker, Maxi Gomez, who has 8 La Liga goals. He was expected to start from the first minute, but instead replaced by Emery Moore. Hardly seen Emery Moore, hardly seen Iago Aspas.
And again, maybe it does not appear to have been an injury change. And with him getting set to check in, it obviously was not after the starting lineups had already been handed in. So it worked out perhaps as well as Zinedine Zidane's decision to make a change in the tactics in El Clásico.
For Vaz, is a bit surprising, isn't it? Rodoya is usually the furthest midfielder back. He's more of a destroyer. They do miss those runs up the middle by Vaz. Thought it might have been for Josabed perhaps, or Lobotka.
Is it Mascherano or Piqué who takes the seat? Luis Suarez still out there. 2 goals disallowed, 1 went in. And the 2 Uruguayans, one in the Blaugrana, one in the Celeste, exchanging hugs before the start of this second half. (4-0) the score, 5-1 on aggregate. Changes galore to start this second half, and what was a razor-sharp first half performance. Barcelona looking to slice through Celta again here early. Messi pulls it back. Rakitic over. Here's Iniesta. Eyes in the back of his head. Phil Shane, Matteo Bonetti with you. phenomenal performance in the opening stanza.
One of the best halves we've seen from Barcelona all season long in any competition. One of the best performances we've also seen from Luis Suarez, who started off the season very sluggish. Just didn't look physically at his best, didn't look sharp with his touches, but today he could have had a lot more than one goal. Also was very good in the build-up with his first touch, especially linking up. Didn't see much from this man, Andre Gomes. Often an easy target for Barcelona fans as he's failed to live up to his price tag. Looks to be one of the players on his way out. He's been linked to quite a few teams, hasn't he, the Portuguese man?
Italy, England, and beyond. By the way, Gomez coming in for Aspas, so again, just saving legs at the moment and blushes. Vermaelen giving Piqué a bit of a breather. And as you mentioned, Radoja for Vas. Let's see if they go too deep. Lobotka and Radoja tend to alternate. Of course, what this also could do is maybe push Josabed a little further upfield. Here's Moore. Radoja making the run. Moore cuts to the inside. Good ball for Sisto. The big Uruguayan inside in Maxi. 6'1", 180 pounds, but he'll never see the ball.
Dealt with wonderfully well there by Semedo. Knew that there was only one direction for Sisto, trying to look for the outside to whip that ball in for the big man. Been so impressed with Maxi Gomez coming over from Defensor Sporting in Uruguay.
To the point in my mind that Oscar Washington Tavares might actually have a choice to make. Luis Suarez, well, the 24th, he's going to turn 31, so still a long way to go. But Gomez playing that well, you're going to have to find a way to get him into the mix.
Yeah, question is, because you even fit them all in together, the likes of Cavani and Suarez and Gomez, but even if you can't, at least they have a striker that's ready to take on the new generation of Uruguayan forwards. Likes of Diego Forlan gave way to Cavani and Suarez, and will give way to Maxi Gomez and a few others that have really been breaking out throughout our leagues here on beIN.
Chance here on the break. Saved looking for someone to dish it off to, sends it wide for Moore. Overlap from Mayo is on, cuts to his left, blasts it into orbit. Why not have a go the way things have gone today? But Celta right now looking for a goal of honor. Things get a bit easier for Unsue. Levante, Sociedad both on the road, returning to Balaidos to face Betis. Chance now. Suarez plays it across, but soft on the touch. Second effort, but it had crossed. It'll have to settle for a corner kick.
Just didn't have enough time to whip it in with pace across that 6-yard box to find Andre Gomes, who is unmarked.
Cillison starting the break.
Yeah, lovely ball up the pitch. Oh, that is actually a perfect pass. Settles it on the top of his head, and as quickly as he can, he tries to find Andre Gomes, who is unmarked.
Just to give you an idea, goalkeepers will talk about passes like that much more than even a world-class save, especially if it ends up going for goal. You never get a chance to take any credit for offense.
You always expect those Barcelona keepers to be able with their feet. We know that Marc-Andre ter Stegen is.
Rakitic with an in-swinger, edge of the 6, headed clear by Gomez. Of course, Cillison doesn't have a save to talk about yet. And with Gomez in there, it does give them a central target. I see Sisto giving chase a bit. Would imagine that Emre Mor will play a bit of that Aspas role, but maybe they'll hand that off to Sisto at the start. 5 minutes into the second half. 1-1 after the first leg. And after the opening quarter hour here today, pretty much done and dusted. More to Johnny in for Josabed. Radoja again. Lobotka. Again, not the best performance that we've seen from the young Slovakian. Semedo. Rather difficult to handle, but just a game of tag between Cillessen and his right back. Mascherano off the chest of Gomes. That brings a round of applause, trying to shield it away, but well, he will get the benefit of the whistle. And a round of applause.
Well, they certainly appreciate the work rate. Hasn't been too incisive with his passing, but he has joined the attack and made himself an option many times. Making that forward run from the midfield. Big physical player as well. And there Josabet stands absolutely no chance. More physically frail player than the Portuguese.
And for Busquets. Now Iniesta. Wide for Alba, involved in 3 goals in the same game for the first time in his career, maybe a 4th. Tried to adapt on the bounce. Iniesta, psychic positioning. And again, the pass just behind. Still 1 sub remaining for Celta if they wish. Former DC United midfielder, the Chilean Pablo Hernandez, Cabral Roncalia, and the youngster Mendez. Almost into the path of Suarez.
Good idea there from Semedo, slightly overcooked. 2 options inside the box, near post and far post. Just an inch ahead of Suarez to really latch onto it. Another good run, though, from Suarez. He has always been in the right position today. He's showcasing his intelligence as well, and always seemingly knowing where Messi is alongside him.
Well, there have been some fans who've said Barcelona needs another forward. Little slip from Sergio. After a slow start, Suarez maybe starting to lose it a bit. Sisto keeps it alive for Josabet, but take a look at what he's done over the last 5 or 6 games. Although the argument could be made he could have scored twice as many goals.
And you can make that argument for many strikers in world football, Phil. They're not going to get them all. But in the first few months of the season, he just looked a bit out of shape. He looked awkward as well.
Not today.
Nothing was working out for him. No, absolutely not. He is very much back to his old self, the one that terrorized La Liga after coming over from Liverpool. Speaking of Liverpool, he's going to have his buddy back soon. Coutinho was very much part of that Liverpool squad when Luis Suarez scored more than 30 Premier League goals. Those two good friends off the pitch and a real understanding of one another's games and intricacies as well in terms of playing style.
Still interesting to see how that plays out. I mean, when you consider the uproar and the adjustments that needed to be made when Neymar came in, and Neymar was a wide player who liked to cut in into a role where Messi was starting to make a bit more of a mark. Coutinho starts on the inside and does many of the same things, so I'm sure Messi can adapt, but can Barcelona? Fontas looking long. Of course, the other point is Valverde says he will be patient. He knows it's not easy to pick up this Barcelona system, the scheme, and not expecting instant results from Dembele either. They do have a bit of cushion, at least in league. Considering the fact that Coutinho is cup tied, that's all he needs to worry about. Nice give and go again for Redoya, but instead tries to cut inside for Gomez, stolen back. Alba for Busquets. Swinging it around to the far side. Iniesta finds a little space. Suarez making space as he goes along, and Messi almost sneaks it through the legs of the defender. Iniesta again. Advantage. Quickly back to his feet. A Messi-like pass from Rakitic. Suarez offside again, and that one might be close.
I feel like a broken record at this point, but Suarez's positioning again, he's making all the right runs. Seemed very close, and it's just that step off. Genius ball from Rakitic to split the defenders perfectly into stride for Suarez, who just couldn't stay with that defensive line. Went onside.
4 offside against Barcelona, 3 against Suarez. Sisto will exit. Not the best of games, maybe the worst, in fact, that we have seen
this season. At least he's been a lot more influential. I don't remember one decent ball that came from Sisto,
and it was his attempted pass back that led to the 4th goal,
completely negated by Semedo.
Brais Mendes just turned 21, the homegrown player. Well, plucked away at a young age from Villarreal, but he's been with Celta since 2012, Spanish youth international. And keep an eye on him, the number 26. He's got some flair, in some ways similar to Aleñá. Mayo in. Lobotka sending it wide off the backside of Gomez, but he does hold on. The Argentine and Uruguayan battling on this near side. Vodka in. Radoja doing rather well. The Serbian international in the attacking midfield role. Sending it long. Just a bit too far for Moore.
And Moore is trying to redirect it back towards the heart of the box, but all of his angles wrong. It's an exciting player coming on for Barca.
And an exciting one coming off. Lionel Messi at the hour mark. And a standing ovation.
He was absolutely world class. His very best. Fans appreciate every single second they get the view of him. Why waste him for a full 90 minutes? The game's already out of reach for Celta. Put in one of the best halves that you'll see from him or Barcelona this season, mostly because of his incisive passing, his clinical finishing.
2 goals and a world-class assist. Or as Messi likes to say, just another day at the office. 30 years of age is Messi. Wasn't that long ago that when he was in the lineup, which was practically all the time, it was 90 minutes. But credit to Valverde, credit to Messi. They realize there are more fish to fry. So the 20-year-old Dembele checks in. Frenchman by way of Dortmund, now getting a chance to go against his former teammate, Emre Mor. Kind of funny. Christian Pulisic, the only one that seems to have survived. But that might not last much longer if you believe the transfer rumors. Gomez well offside. First time Celta have been called off this game. Gives you an idea which direction the match has been headed.
Great offside trap there from Barcelona. All 4 defenders moving in unison.
Vermaelen, the linchpin. Does he go? It was only a couple of months ago. It was an automatic. He knew he needed to start somewhere to try and prove he deserved to be on Belgium's World Cup spot.
The craziest bit is that Samuel Umtiti story of his buyout clause, which is relatively low. What is it, just over? How much?
I think it's only 20.
I heard of 50, but even at 50, you figure someone snap him up right away. That's nothing nowadays.
Yerry Mina just brought in for less than $20 million from Brazil. They have a promising young Brazilian named Marlon, who is on loan at Nice for another season. And now, is this shop window time or prove you belong? Jose Arnaiz, who has been phenomenal this season in limited action.
He's got 3 consecutive goals in the Copa del Rey. Comes over from the Barca B's. Not that young, though. 22 years young. And this is the stage where you really have to start showing at what level you intend on playing on.
Well, again, it's interesting. Just like they did with Nolito, Barcelona tends to have the young phenoms, but then also brings some, I guess, in their perspective, wizened veterans. They did it with Nolito. They did it with Arnaiz, bringing him over from Talavera about 2 seasons ago, just to show how it's done. Nolito has done pretty well wherever he's ended up, at both of these teams, in fact. And you wonder with the return of Dembele, the arrival of Coutinho, whether there's room at the office. Iniesta departs.
Very solid game as well for Iniesta. More of an attacking switch now with a striker to play right alongside Luis Suarez. Such a well-oiled machine in that first half, Barcelona. So many of those balls going through the likes of Messi or Rakitic. By the way, he's first player in Barcelona history, Jose Arnaiz, to score 3 goals from his first 3 shots. So he has been as clinical as you can imagine.
So you know what you do? You tell him to shoot more. Scrambling forward with the flag down. Gomez cuts in, but can't get the shot away. Semedo with a goal-saving tackle.
Did so well here, the Uruguayan, to twist and turn his way past Vermaelen, and the pace of Semedo to make up the lost ground and get himself in the way. Bit sloppy out wide there from Semedo. Gomez, that burst of acceleration, but right there, you think he's going to shoot it. That's certainly what Vermaelen thinks. And the striker puts Vermaelen on his backside, does so well to cut it back to his right, but how important was that from Semedo? That recovery speed to make himself a roadblock. Good first touch there from Arnaiz as well. I'm curious to see where he's going to position alongside Luis Suarez. Alongside him.
Wearing the captain's armband now, Sergio Busquets. All of the jokers on the table right now for both of these teams for the final half hour. Mayo can't be liking this one. They've given him the captain's armband in a way to mature him, to give him the responsibility. Poked away from Mendes, who scurries after Rakitic. Mayo through and through a Celta player. One match where he was suspended actually went in the derby against Deportivo into the stands with some of the fans and almost got into a fight with Deportivo fans, to the point where security needed to be called. He apologized, but not really. Hasn't done it since, though. Celta is pushing forward, looking to try and get on the scoreboard, reclaim some pride. They really don't want to let Barcelona grab a fifth.
Oh.
But they almost do there. Suarez just couldn't get on top of it.
That Celta defense, though, leaving gaps wider than the Panama Canal, Phil. Two ex-Barcelona B players in Gomez and Fontas. They have had a really tough task in dealing with Suarez. That would have been a really spectacular hit on the volley, contorting his body. But the common theme has been his positioning. Brilliant today against Celta. And from that little bit of scare in the first few months of the season where he looked like a skeleton of his former self, a real shout.
Now Dembele, the fans starting to roar, puts on the brakes, sneaks it in. Semedo tries to square it, but he'll settle. What? They're going to say off the right back. It'll be a goal kick.
You have to feel for Johnny. I mean, the likes of Messi taking him on. Now he has to deal with Ousmane Dembele, one of the most tricky technical players that you'll find, and a nightmare for a fullback because he always wants to take you on one-on-one. He is electrifyingly quick. And there, he doesn't force the cross in. He looks for the shorter pass. That is very much the Barcelona way.
One right back, deflects back to Busquets. Suarez from distance.
Also missed so much time, Dembele. It must have been really heartbreaking for the youngster. You're trying to assimilate yourself with the team, get to know your players, and it's one of the things we don't talk about enough, Phil. And there was a lovely story about Okay Gundogan, the Manchester City player who really gave a tale of what it's like to be a long-term injury on a team. You're basically shunned from the rest of the squad. You don't train with them. You hardly see them. You don't really feel part of the team. And for a player like Dembele, who was really trying to make his name known and trying to assimilate himself with his new surroundings, that must have been so very difficult.
Again, maybe things a little easier than it used to be with training centers and the like, but there are managers. As Dembele just touches it away from Fontes, creates a 3v1, cuts back to his left, deflected shot wide. Hugo Mayo destroying what would have been a fairy book goal.
They love it, the Barcelona fans. That's Dembele at his very best. That's what we saw from him at Borussia Dortmund. He is so quick, he's so tricky, but there maybe should have looked for the pass. He had two options. I know the fans love it, as you should watching at home. That was a lovely bit of skill, but again, there was an easy ball to play. It's not exactly the team where you're going to go too far when you're trying to take on the entire defense on your own. Then again, it is a 4-0 lead so far for Barcelona.
Suarez settles, pushed wide, bangs on Fontes to try and cut inside. No foul, says the referee. Barcelona still hungry for more. Throw-in, edge of the area. Suarez dispossessed. More with a burst of speed. An awkward challenge by Busquets, but it's out for the throw.
Now look at this counter. Does well there, absorbs the challenge. He fakes like he's going to go to the inside, cuts it back out. He does have options. He did have a window to play that through ball to his left side where he would have had Luis Suarez in a very good position.
Offside against Gomez.
But you know what? Can't blame the youngster. He's really trying to get the fans on his side, show what he can do, show himself at his very best, and that is signature Dembele. Just embarrassing defenders. And he's nowhere near a finished product. His ceiling is scarily high.
But again, that's one of the reasons they spent the money on Dembele, is the fact that there is no ceiling in sight. For Coutinho, they spent even more because they take a look and see the finished product.
And also Coutinho's played in La Liga before. He showed that he could succeed in this league. He had such a lovely loan spell with Espanyol. That was back when Inter owned him. Funnily enough, Inter sold him for just over £7 million. And then you look at the return. That was back in 2013. So 5 years later, Phil, I'd say Liverpool have made their money back and then some. It's not a bad return, is it?
Meanwhile, on the other side, you take a look at Dembele. Pretty much a cup of coffee with Borussia Dortmund. Wide for Alba, sneaks it in, just a hair behind Suarez. Dembele providing Arnaiz, trying to finish, and then skating to a stop.
Good movement from the youngster, even better ball to find him into stride. This is more like it from Dembele. This time he doesn't try to take on the entire defense. He sees the run being made, puts in the perfect ball towards the youngster, and that wasn't far off at all. He's looking for the top corner at the near post. That's the only place where he could have beaten the goalkeeper, Sergio.
In some ways, as you pointed out with your earlier concern, where he bypassed what was an open teammate to try and cap off a brilliant goal by himself, I think Ernesto Valverde might even be more pleased with that pass to Arnaiz. Barcelona, it's not so much who scores as long as the team does. Rakitic back for Dembele. Dortmund got him from Stade Rennais for about $15 million and sold him for about $100 million a year later. That's a good investment. Quick feet. Arnaiz, not so much. Driven into the middle. Again, Vermaelen. And that draws a round of applause. That one slips through. Gomez is in unmarked. Rakitic lofts it. Suarez for Dembele. Just toying with Mendes. If you're Ernesto Valverde, is there anything you're upset about today?
Oh, you'd have to be very nitpicky, but I'm sure he'll find some things to work on. That's what every manager does. Really was a perfect first half, wasn't it?
Suarez, advantage. Rakitic spins wide.
Maybe you wanted to see what Silson was made out of in goal.
Here, as you take a look, maybe should have been ruled off. Vermaelen made it difficult. Semedo made it impossible.
And that's the one that you have to get spot on as the right back there in the box like that. Very easy to give away a penalty, but Semedo got it perfectly. Aggressive, well-timed challenge.
Gomez
goal saving.
Screaming at his teammates, saying he's wide open with an acre of space around him. They're not getting it to him. Still just 21, Uruguayan, who was, well, his brothers even said a little chubby growing up, but as he got fit for Defensor Sporting, everything started to click. Here's Radoya to the inside, but to Rakitic.
Built like an absolute tank, Phil. Can see he's big bone, but he's also very muscular. He's able to absorb the punishment that you get from a center back and play with his back to goal.
It was more than just the physique. It's the physique complementing the talent, because at the age of 17, he was promoted from Defensor's 4th team straight to the 1st, and he never looked back. In for Arnaiz. Had Dembele, tries to feed Suarez, but instead gobbled up by Lobotka. Radoya. Will they be able to keep the clean sheet? Something that Barcelona has become rather good at this season. A few flashes here or there. Probably nothing that would convince Unsue to keep him out of the future lineups, but
that's difficult to judge a player, though, on this sort of performance where Celta were held with their backs against the wall right away. 15th minute, it already seemed almost out of reach. None of the Celta players really being able to play their usual brand of football or convince.
This would be the 20th shutout for Barcelona in all competitions if they can keep Celta off the board. And while Marc-Andre ter Stegen is Barca's #1 without question, the veteran Dutchman Jasper Cillessen has showed Barcelona they have a good man in reserve. Arnaiz pocket picked by Mayo. Gift wrapped back. Actually, it was Gomez pushing forward. Gomes, but Arnaiz trying to find Rakitic. Over for Johnny. The Barcelona faithful want to see just a little bit more before this one is done. Run up the middle from Josabed, but no one could find him. Alba. Busquets almost. Fontes, his former teammate, steps in.
Maybe a blessing in disguise, though, that Celta gets knocked down to the Copa del Rey. They need to focus on La Liga action. They're in a position that doesn't really tell you about their talent. 15th place in the table. Need to get a little bit further away from the relegation zone as to not give their fans any heart palpitations. They're a lot better than that position would suggest. Or as today would suggest, Phil, given their performances against Barcelona and Real Madrid.
Checking the stands, eyes always darting. Suarez from distance, lifting it just wide.
Well, everything going right for Barcelona. Why not have a crack from that position? Would have been an absolute stunner. He sees Sergio just slightly off of his line. Maybe doesn't have the pace to get away from his marker. Knew that the defender would catch up to him. Good first ball, though. It's a little toe poke there from Arnaiz just to play through. He's been very quick on his feet so far, Arnaiz, despite the limited playing time. He's only featured in the Copa del Rey with significant minutes. And had that been more central, it would have caught out Sergio, absolutely.
Just 3 shots for Celta, 16 for Barcelona. Talked about the next 9 matches. Of course, it's not always a given. For example, Levante, another team that is a little too close for the drop zone for their comfort. Real Sociedad, maybe one of the final matches for Carlos Vela with La Real before heading to join LAFC. Then they'll be back home to face Betis, who we saw in a thriller of a match against Sevilla in the big derby. Wide for Mayo. Dropping it back. Here's the Radoya. Edge of the 18, forced back. Lobotka. Into the center for Fontes. Gomez. Back for Fontes. The ex-Barca boy sending it wide. After The home match against Betis is back on the road for Celta to Alaves. Then home against Espanyol, at Getafe, who are on the verge of Europe themselves, and then Eibar, who are just outside of the European zone. So
how impressive have they been? Getafe, Portalas, has done well, the manager. Not the most aesthetically pleasing side in La Liga, but certainly one of the more efficient.
4v3 if they hurry. Dished wide, Johnny in the attack, crosses in, parried away by Vermeulen. Wasted opportunity. In many ways, it's those 9 matches against beatable teams that will determine Celta and Unzue's fate.
Silson so far can package up those gloves. Seldom is new right after the game if he wants to online. He's not had anything to do. Just one lovely kick down the field, which nearly led to a very quick Barcelona counter.
From the corner. Just 4 shots on the day, none of them anywhere near. Nice in for Rakitic, swings it. Alba back to maintain possession. Hangs in the air, and Johnny will knock it down. That kind of day for Celta. 7 minutes and change. For Barcelona, on the road at La Real. Back in La Liga play on Sunday. They'll stay on the road to visit Betis next week. Then home against Alaves, the derby at Espanyol. Then Getafe at Eibar before Chelsea and Champions League at the end of February. Guarantee Antonio Conte is going to be burning through this tape, trying to figure out, just in case, how do you stop this Barcelona? Fontes on the step up. Gomez nipping at his heels, but still carries the ball forward. Nice tackle, Vermeulen. Youngster's trying to make something happen.
Yeah, looks confident on the ball. He's always looking to take on the defender, and you can get fooled by the way that he looks. A bit heavy set, stocky, but he's quick. He seems to change direction quite fast, and so much of a promise for Celta. Player that not many outside of Uruguay had heard of when he joined La Liga, and certainly weren't expecting this sort of production right away. Those 8 La Liga goals, very surprising at the halfway point of the season. Most likely going to get into double-digit goal scoring. This time Vermeulen gets his challenge absolutely spot on. Already been beaten once by Maxi Gomez.
Bring in Guerrimina. And it's going to be a transition for the Colombian, but you wonder whether Vermeulen's done enough. Barcelona might just hold on through the end of the season when the games get tougher. Busquets almost wins it back, but straight to Josebed. Now Lobotka. Celta keeping the ball moving. More as Alba gets a bit chippy. Mendes lays it back. Look how far Barca keeping Celta away. The ball stuck in the midfield. Play on, says the ref. Nodded in for Suarez. Feeds Dembele. Rakitic making the run. Tries the little back heel. but Sergi Gomez blocks it wide.
Another positive display there from Dembele. Playing the ball quickly to Rakitic, and from that position, he's going for the spectacular backheel finish. Goes down quickly behind the defender, but we've seen Dembele now a lot quicker with his thought about where to play that ball next.
Headed into the corner by Rakitic. Wide open, and he hits the bullseye. 5-0 Barca.
Well, no excuse now for the Celta defense. That is just very poor man marking. Another delivery from Dembele, and Rakitic all alone in the heart of the box. That is simply inexcusable. He's had some beautiful passes in this game. Rakitic nearly pulled off a backheel just moments ago, and now was able to get a free header. All the markers converging at the near posters. Why are there 3 players around out nice?
And they have
I don't
two
understand
defensive
that at all.
midfielders in there, and neither one spots.
No, it's Andre Gomes. Look at all those blue kits around Andre Gomes. There's 3 or 4 players circling him. No one decided to stay with Rakitic. That is a miscommunication. That looks like amateur defending.
Dembele did have an assist in his first match for Barcelona against Espanyol. Also a 5-0 home win. That one he came off the bench. This his first assist since. So a slap of the hand for Barcelona against Celta, and they might not be done. Dembele looks slight, but good at shielding the ball. Here Busquets quickly to the Frenchman. But his pass back, catching Gomes by surprise. (6-1) on aggregate. 1-1 coming in. And again, it shows you how important your home leg is when you're facing a team like Barcelona. But I don't think there's anyone that would have imagined the whitewashing that Barcelona has put on Celta today. Headed towards added time, and even with the goal and the substitutions, can't imagine Hernandez will add too much.
That's smart from Jordi Alba, cutting out the angle. Knew that that ball was most likely going to come. The run was being made behind him, but Barcelona have just been so far superior to anything we've seen in the Copa del Rey. Anything that Celta, I'm sure, has seen, as they're used to going toe to toe.
Just catching Johnny flat-footed. Dembele lifting it back for Suarez, and almost.
Well, Dembele is the joy of the game personified, isn't he? He is so fun to watch. It's like a Joga Bonito commercial. Every time he touches the ball, he's looking to entertain. Must be an absolute nightmare for the fullbacks. You see him coming towards him. He knows that Dembele's always looking to take you on one-on-one. Knows he has the pace to get by anybody.
Just the 1 minute to be added, and Celta Vigo will be glad to be back on the plane to the West Coast. Sending it across for Malin in good position, and that's going to do it. The final whistle from Jose Hernandez, and cheers from the crowd. A 5-0 Barcelona thrashing.
Incredible performance, Phil. Just does not get any better than that, especially that first half. They put the game away really within 15 minutes. Messi couldn't have done it better. Suarez as well, saw so many positive signs from him, and also from some of the players that you don't see as much. The likes of Arnaiz and of course Dembele coming back from injury.
Barcelona advances 6-1 on aggregate. So the 5-0 tacked on to the 1-1, and our 8th and final team to advance to the quarters is known. Take a look at those first 3 goals. Alba to Messi, and Messi to Alba. And that one, an early done and dusted for Barca. Well, special guest in the stands looking in, and Coutinho had to like what he saw here in the 13th minute. A beautiful ball in and a better ball home.
Suarez does so well to let that one skip through to find Messi. Still had everything to do as he puts it right into the bottom corner. Sergio, the goalkeeper, gets a touch. Look at that first touch, by the way, from Messi. Has an option in Alba, streaking forward as he did all game with those overlapping runs. The give and go. First time side-footed finish from Messi is pinpoint. Coutinho can only smile. Must be itching to get out there and being part of these sorts of performances. Then in the 28th minute, this ball from Messi deserves really 1,000 looks as he finds Alba, returns the favor. It was Alba who had the assist for Messi earlier on. Now Messi gets the assist for Alba on that signature ball that curls, it dips, it beats the entire back line that is frozen in space. And Alba, as he's losing his footing, gets it around the goalkeeper. Really poor from that Celta defense and the goalkeeper as well. Now Sisto gives the ball away dangerously. Luis Suarez. Sisto had a shocker today. He's been one of the more important players for Celta on the season with 9 La Liga assists, but here it is a suicidal back pass right to Luis Suarez. Now the corner kick. Dembele, Rakitic, how did he get so wide open? The Celta defenders, about 6 of them at the near post. Inexcusable.
So taking a look at the way this one went, not the only big showdown that was on the day. Sevilla against Cadiz in the early going. Montella looking on. 2-0 in the first leg, and they were looking to add to it here. The follow-up. And yeah, they're able to capitalize.
And this is such an important game for Montella, who was part of that embarrassing 5-3 defeat at the hands of Sevilla's rival Real Betis at the Sanchez Pizjuan. And this header over the top in the 54th minute from Joaquin Correa.
Good cross in by Sarabia.
A beautiful cross in from the ex-Real Madrid man. And Correa, will he be one of the players to really flourish under Vincenzo Montella?
Meanwhile, it was Abdullah sending the ball through, and off to the races. Alvaro Garcia.
What finish.
Just lifting it up and over Sergio Rico. And Cadiz, something to take home. 4-1.
Lovely finish this. Blows by the Sevilla defense, the goalkeeper in no man's land, and has a fun story to tell his kids.
Meanwhile, there was another showdown. Levante taking on Espanyol. Shaq Moore fresh off his good run against Barca in the last weekend, but here trying to play catch up and couldn't. Leo Batistao. Wonder if his best friend Neymar taught him that one.
A lovely finish here from Batistao, Espanyol side that has given us some good performances against tough opposition. They played very well against Atleti, beating them just a few weeks ago. Here, Batistao clean through one-on-one. The chip over the top is clinical to beat the goalkeeper.
Gerard Moreno was the one who made the pass, and here, good position to close it out. Bouncing ball, buried, and Espanyol trailed after the first leg, but gets the second here to advance. With a lot of rumors about a potential move back to England for Quique Sanchez Flores, he says he's quite happy where he is in Espanyol happy to have him. Take a look at the earlier results at Leti Big, Valencia, Alaves as well under lesser foes. Leganés wins on away goals. That's really the only upset in this round of 16. Real Madrid holding off Numancia, but embarrassed a bit. A 2-2 home draw in the second leg yesterday. And then here again, Sevilla, Barcelona, big winners at home in the second leg, and Levante edged out by Espanyol.
Some of the maybe Cinderella stories knocked out. Remember, we saw Alaves make it to the Copa del Rey final last year against Barcelona.
Well, today there were no Cinderella stories for Celta. Barcelona, a 15-minute stretch just before the half hour, 3 goals and more than enough. Messi, Alba, Suarez, Rakitic. 5-0 on the day, 6-1 for the match.
¿Cómo te conviertes en la marca más confiable de SUVs? Haciendo vehículos que están atentos para las personas que no lo están. Haciendo vehículos que detectan lo que ellos no pueden detectar. Haciendo vehículos con 3 filas para la carga más importante. Vamos más lejos para lo más preciado en tu vida. Así es Ford. Y así es como te conviertes en la marca más confiable de SUVs.
The moment you realize your half bath needs your full attention.
At Lowe's, we'll help you turn the bathroom you have into the one you've always wanted at a price that fits your budget. All projects have a starting point. Start with Lowe's.
Hurry into Lowe's and get up to 25% off select bath faucets.
Excited about the open house today?
Just gotta check my credit at Credit Karma first.
Checking will lower your score.
Checking your credit score with Credit Karma never lowers it at all. It's free.
Oh.
Credit Karma. Get knowing.
When money's tight and emergencies arise, CashNetUSA.com is available 24/7 to deliver quick loans for approved customers when they need it the most.
Apply now at CashNetUSA.com.
Money's on the way with CashNet USA.
Jorge Burgos has a fighting spirit. When he started at Modelo, he washed kegs in the cellar. He mastered that job. He learned how to ferment and filter. He mastered that job. Over time, Jorge mastered everything about making Modelo Especial and Modelo Negra. He also learned that it doesn't matter what you know if you don't pass that knowledge on. Since 1925, our brewmasters have continued our tradition of brewing the model beer. Modelo, brewed with a fighting spirit.
Looking for a daily football fix? The Extra has your back. Tune in Monday to Friday to catch the best goals, the hottest action. It's your one-stop shop to find out who's hot and who's not. The Extra on beIN Sports.
Watch the best sports live, like La Liga, Serie A, Ligue 1, WTA, motorsports on your PC, tablet, smartphone, or Roku player.
Game on! Download the all-new beIN Sports Connect.
Just finished soccer match on the pitch.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Joining us now as they do. It's great to have our BN Sports audience right here on TV, along with our SB Nation audience. We're here till 7 o'clock Eastern on the television side and 8 o'clock Eastern on SB Nation Radio. Robin Carlin, Brian Barrett, Adam Sager, Ron Culver, obviously part of this show as well, and our great crew in Miami. Okay, guys, let's get the poll questions going because I have a few questions I'd like to ask you about things, about trash cans. And they're your guys' interest in, like, you know, your trash bins, the big ones that the like Waste Management or somebody will come out and pick up, right? Okay, so the poll question from a couple days ago, Seg, since we had TV